If you could pick a country that you would be crowned king of, which one would it be?
Wakanda. Wakanda forever, man. Wakanda forever. Michael Jackson was often referred to as the King of Pop, as a nod to the amount of dick he crushed under the sheer weight of his album sales. What people don't realise though is that name is a lot more descriptive than you'd think, given that Michael Jackson was technically a real king.
So we know he was the king of pop.
Yeah.
But you saying he was the king of an actual place?
Yeah, a small African country nestled in the bosom of the Ivory Coast called the Kingdom of Sanwi.
The Kingdom of Sanwi?
Yes, that's the one.
Are you pronouncing that correctly?
You know what? Probably not, no. But I don't think anyone's going to complain in the comment section because it's not a mispronunciation of a Japanese word, because that's apparently all the comment section on YouTube cares about. The mispronunciation of Japanese words from non-Japanese speakers. Yeah, leave Simon Whistle alone, folks. He's trying his fucking best.
Does he get a lot of shit for that?
He does, yes. I watch a lot of their videos because most of them are mine and I'm a narcissist. But whenever he does a video where I put a Japanese word in it, you'll always see the comments saying, it's actually pronounced this way, Simon. It's like, leave the poor dude alone. He's trying his best. He doesn't speak Japanese. And people are like, how dare you mispronounce it? He doesn't speak the fucking language. It's really difficult.
Is that why you always make me put complicated pronunciations in the subtitles?
Yeah, because I don't want to deal with that shit. And fair props to Simon Whistler for dealing with that, because I could not handle angry tweets every day saying you mispronounced a word from a language you don't speak wrong. It's like, well, no shit, I did. I don't speak it. That's also why, Brad, if you've noticed, I sometimes flip between using a long or a short A, depending on how I feel. So sometimes it's glass, sometimes it's glass. Just because it pisses people off. It's like, which way are you pronouncing it? No. You've got to be consistent. Consistency is key. It's like, no, it's not. Not on this channel. Just to be clear, the Kingdom of Sanwi crowning Michael Jackson the monarch of their tiny country wasn't a publicity stunt or any shit like that. They officially recognised him as their king and crowned him as such.
So why, of all people, would they choose an American pop star to be the king of their country?
Well, I'm going to answer your question, Brad, with a question of my own. And that question is, why not make an American pop star the king of your small African country? All jokes aside, the actual reason Michael Jackson was crowned the king of that country is because in 1992, prior to visiting the country, a tribal chief heard from a mystic that Michael Jackson was a direct descendant of the royal bloodline.
Was Michael Jackson genuinely a descendant of the royal bloodline?
We don't actually know, because as far as I'm aware, no one bothered to check, but Michael Jackson was so humbled by hearing this from the tribal chief that he decided to roll with, the opinion of mystics that he was, and decided that, yeah, okay, I'll be crowned king.
He just rolled with it.
Well, wouldn't you? If someone came up to you when you were visiting a country and said, oh, you're our king now, I'd be like, oh, wow, it's about fucking time. Thank you. Where's my crown? I'd be on that shit. Well, Michael Jackson, honestly, he was quite a humble person in real life, and he didn't really like confrontation. So when this guy came up to him and said, oh, you are our king, he was like, okay. He just let him. And there's a great picture. I'm not sure if we can use it or not, but I'm presuming we can because it's for the purpose of commentary. But there's an actual picture of Michael Jackson being crowned the king of this small African country, where he's sat in a fedora on a giant throne, flanked by half-naked natives, and it's fucking awesome. It's like, he's just sat there in his coronation like, this is cool, I guess.
So this was, apparently the Mystics told them this?
Yes.
Do you reckon the Mystics were just fans of Michael Jackson?
That'd be amazing.
And wanted him back at the country?
That's the way it's like, oh man, we really love Michael Jackson, but how can we visit him stay? Make him king. Because we can't make him king. It's like, just say he's the descendant of a royal bloodline. But he's not. Who's going to check? I'm the mystic. It's like, good point, mate.
Being the king isn't exactly just an honorary title you just bequeath upon anyone.
No, you do have to sign a few forms. And Michael Jackson did, in fact, sign a form to accept the position as king. Technically, though, he was king in waiting because he wasn't allowed to rule the country from America. But by being king in waiting, it meant that if he ever wanted to, at any point during his life, he could have gone back to that country and said, I'm king now, and no one could have fucking challenged him. Isn't that amazing? I would love to see that, though. If, some guy is being, after many years and Michael Jackson's not returned, some huge guy who's dressed like Umberto the Man-Ape from, Black Panther says, I am king now, and sits down on the throne, and as soon as he does it, you just hear the opening lick from Billie Jean, and Michael Jackson just moonwalks out of the jungle in that perfect white suit he wears in Smooth Criminal, does the spin and fires the machine gun and kills everyone, and says, never challenge my position, then moonwalks back into the jungle.
Umbato's not my monarch.
Oh, that'd be fucking amazing. That is the name, it is Umbato the Man-Ape, isn't it? I watched Black Panther like 4 times, but I'm really bad at remembering names. I hope if it's not, that guy who played the Man-Ape guy, that guy's fucking awesome.
One more word, and I will feed you to my children. I'm kidding, we are vegetarians.
It's like, we're all vegetarians here. It's like, yeah, you go. We're all vegetarians, but we live on a mountain where there's no vegetation. What do they eat? How does he get so buff?
They just eat ice.
How do you get buff eating ice? It's Wakandan ice, isn't it? It's vibranium-infused ice.
Vibranium ice. They've got vibranium everything else.
Everything, don't they? So, they weave it into their clothes, so all the clothes are bulletproof. Because, yeah, I love that. It's my favourite thing. That's my favourite part of Infinity War, is that. Because it directly follows Black Panther. In Black Panther, they say, oh, yeah, we've got these spears that fire, like, bolts that can, like, blow a tank up. So, yeah, we've been invaded by Thanos, and he's like, unbeatable army. What should we do? How about, just hear me out, we all run at them and fight them hand to hand. And then Captain America's like, yeah, that sounds sick. While he's there going to Vision. Vision? No. So we can't choose to sacrifice one life to save literally trillions of other lives. We can't sacrifice your one artificial life to save half the universe. Okay, entire army of Wakanda, charge directly at the enemy's death cannons to buy Vision more time. My theory is that Captain America in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is a glory-seeking arsehole. Because it's like, you get hints of it in that conversation he has with Iron Man in Avengers, where he says, like, sometimes someone needs to lie down on the wire, and Tony Stark goes, I just cut the wire. He's like, no, a sacrifice needs to be made. It's like, Captain America just loves sacrificing people to get medals. He can't help it. He's got this, like, insatiable medal lust. Because think about it, when he says to Vision, Vision goes, okay, blow my fucking head off to save half the universe. Captain America's like, no, because that would interrupt the battle I want to have. And he's got this big rambling speech about, oh no, we can't sacrifice the lives of anyone, to save the universe.
Thanos threatens half the universe. One life cannot stand in the way of defeating him.
But it should.
Okay, now while you're trying to save Vision's life, I'm going to send this disposable army of Wakandans directly at Thanos' forces to buy you more time. Like, you've sacrificed more people trying to stop them from killing Vision. Just kill Vision. It's all about getting their medals. He don't care who he has to kill to do it. It's like when he's rescuing Bucky, he don't give a shit like who he has to kill to save his friends. Think about when he goes to rescue Bucky, how many people does Bucky punch with his robot arm? When Captain America's chasing him. Think about his Civil War. How many people the Winter Soldier kills while saying, I didn't kill anyone. He never killed anyone. He's innocent.
So why was it never made, properly public that Michael Jackson was the king of an African country?
Because Michael Jackson didn't want to talk about it, and he noted in an interview with Ebony magazine that he was really humbled by, the decision to make him king of that country. And he didn't want, the position to go to his head, so he just decided to never talk about it in any interviews except for that one, because it was directly after he got back from Africa, and it was an interview about what he did there. Other than that, he virtually never talks about it again.
That's all I talk about.
It's like when you call when to me, oh yeah, Michael Jackson's won another Grammy. I go, yeah, thank you. This is the best award I've got since I was crowned king of an African country, motherfuckers, and then moonwalk off the stage.
He doesn't moonwalk everywhere.
Well, I would if I could. I would do that. If I could moonwalk, I would never move forward.
Did he actually have any responsibilities as king?
No, and because he was busy being a musician in the States, the majority of his kingly duties were handed off to another guy called Amun-Unduth V, which I'm also probably pronouncing incorrectly, who was crowned king in his stead, and what he did as his first act of being king is crown Michael Jackson the crown prince of the country, which allowed him to have a direct line to the throne if he ever wanted it. So he went from being king to crown prince.
So that makes Michael Jackson the crown prince of rhyme.
After being demoted to crown prince, Michael Jackson's duties for the country were largely ceremonial in nature, but he was still nonetheless widely respected by his subjects.
Do you have any examples of the respect they showed for him?
Well, when Michael Jackson passed away in 2009, his subjects mourned his death and gave him a royal funeral that was attended by thousands of natives. Do you know what my favourite part about this entire story is, though?
Yeah.
It's the fact that King Amun-Unduth V, after Michael Jackson passed away, decided to search for a new crown prince and then couldn't find one, which makes sense because how the fuck do you replace a guy who was double king? So me and Brad couldn't think of a way to end this video. Luckily, I went off on one earlier when discussing a British concept known as the Sesh. So please enjoy this clip that was cut from earlier in the video now. The one that got me is the time I explained to an American friend of mine what a sesh is. Because they were like, what is the sesh? And I explained it as far as I understand. Because they couldn't believe how much British people drink on like nights out and stuff. Because I think I went for a drink with them. And before we went for a drink, I went, oh yeah, we're going to have some drinks at like, the hotel before we go out. What do you mean? Well, pre-drinking. Like, you drink before you go drink. And say, well, yeah. I had to explain to him what a sesh is. Said, so what would constitute a sesh? Well, what you do is you finish work at like 5 o'clock and you go for a few pints at the pub with a meal, and then you get some booze from Asda or something like that, and you take that back to your house and you pre-drink there, and then you go out and then you have drinks. And what you do is when you first start drinking, you get shots to make sure the buzz you lost on the taxi journey from the house party to the night out stays, and then you have pints. Then when you get to the end of the night, you go back to the person's house and you kit there. When you wake up in the morning, you have a beer, hair of the dog, to get rid of, to stave off the hangover. Then you go out for breakfast, where you have a few more beers to keep the buzz going. And then you go back to the house and you continue having the house party, and you play some games and stuff like that. You also have a few more beers to keep the buzz going. And then you get to night, and that's when you get the vodka you bought the day before, and you open that and you play drinking games, and you go out again. And if you really, really want to do it, you go out the next day as well. That's a Sunday, so you can't really do that unless it's a bank holiday. And a bank holiday is not really the best time to drink, because everyone goes out on a Sunday and it's full of old people. So the best time to go out on a session actually be on a Thursday and take a Friday off, and you have a 3-day weekend, and then you have 2 days to recover on the Saturday and Sunday, the Sunday and the Monday. They didn't get it either. That's the most northern I've ever sounded on this channel.